When we're little kids, we are used to not being good at something. You don't know how to write, you don't know how to read, you don't know how to walk, you don't know how to communicate. We are so used to failing at something at first and then putting in the work, keep trying, and then eventually you'll become better at something. But somewhere down the road, most people lose the ability to embrace sucking at something at first and then putting in the work to eventually become better at things. Two reasons why this is unfortunate. The first one is that you don't try new things. You're scared of the process, you don't want to fail at something, so you just avoid doing new things. Things you might be good at or things that you end up might enjoying a lot. The second reason why it is unfortunate is because you can find a lot of joy in the process, in the journey. It isn't just about the end goal. For example, even though I might not be the world's best bodybuilder or whatever, that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy training or working out on a daily basis. If you embrace sucking at something, there is so much more for you to explore and to gain. It's exactly the same as with training. The more you train, the more calluses you develop. And those areas, they get tough and they protect you from future friction. The same applies to your mindset. The more you fail, the more you get up, the more you keep trying, the more mental toughness you will gain. Another way in which embracing the suck applies is when you keep denying, postponing, or prolonging a situation because you don't want to look at what isn't working and make a change. We often tend to stay in situations we know deep down aren't making us truly happy because the alternative way is unknown and scary, and therefore you much rather prolong the suck. So write down some things that don't fully make you feel alive or fulfilled. Reflect on why they play a role in your life and what you are trying to avoid, deny, or what you're trying to numb, and then what could you do to make changes to eliminate them. This is when the transformation happens. So the first thing that I learned that changed my perspective on life is that you have to embrace sucking at something at first, then putting in the work, and then eventually you'll become better at it, or you'll learn to enjoy the process. The second thing is that you have to take one step at a time. Break down the challenges that you face and just focus on taking one step at a time. Let's say that your goal is that you want to go to the gym 4 times a week, but that you barely have enough time to sit down in the evening for like 1 second to relax. Instead of saying, I want to go to the gym 4 times a week, maybe start by doing 1 home workout instead. And if you're able to do 1, maybe aim for 2 next time, or 3. Or 4. And if you're able to do 4 home workouts, then you can say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym once a week, and then I'm going to do 3 home workouts, and then build from there. If you break down the problems that you have into tiny little sections, everything becomes much more manageable. Talking about home workouts, if you're looking for a training body and if you're like, I need some new workout inspiration, then you're in the right place because I just started a new follow along channel. I'll make sure to link it in the description box down below. I'll be uploading new workouts weekly, multiple times a week, so we can go ahead and train together. It is completely free. The only thing you have to do is grab yourself a yoga mat or maybe a soft spot on the floor, whatever works for you. Put on my video and then just train with me. I would love for you to join and to subscribe. So I'll link it in the description box down below so you can go ahead and check it out and we can train together. When you adopt the one step at a time mindset, you'll treat both the failures and the successes as a step. Everything that happens will get you one step closer to your goal. Spend the same amount of time celebrating your victories as you're navigating the setbacks or the failures. You want to reflect, regroup, and then move on to the next step. Another benefit from adopting this mindset is that you'll focus on making little progress each day. If you're so focused on the big goals very, very far away, the tiny little steps that you take each day, they don't seem to make a dent. If your goal is to run a marathon, but you currently run 1 minute at once, then it might seem so far away to run a marathon that you want to give up. But if you treat all the steps as progress, you'll appreciate the journey a lot more. And then over time, the tiny steps, they add up. They will yield great results over time. You just have to keep making steps every single day. If you're setting goals and finding that you can't seem to stick with it, then shift your mindset to start focus on each step and only allow yourself to concentrate on the current step and getting past it. Okay guys, I'm actually about to go to jiu-jitsu class and I wanted to tie this next point with that, and that is that you have to do something that you actually enjoy, because that makes the rest less bad. Because I am loving Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm having the best time. My teacher, she is an absolute beast. She knows what she's doing and she's such an inspo for me. But that makes me not knowing anything about anything less bad. It just makes it less bad, which is great. I, for example, just received my gi. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. It's like the suit that you wear whenever you're doing jiu-jitsu. And you know what? I wanted to get a black one in my size, but there weren't many available, unfortunately. So there was this one suit that was available in my size, but it said, submit everyone on the inside. And I was like, I was going for like a humble approach, you know? I don't know anything, so I don't want to be there being like, oh, submit everyone. But it was on the inside, so I thought it is fine, but I just received the suit. And apparently it's not only on the inside. This is the inside. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Mind you, like you can put me in a gym and I'm fine because I know what I'm doing. You put me in a jiu-jitsu class with other people and I will feel like I suck. And that's kind of humbling. So for me, being like, submit everyone, that doesn't make it less bad. But you know what? I enjoy doing it. I'm having a lot of fun. I am starting at step 1 or step minus 200, if that's even possible. Don't know anything, but I'm just going for it. And you know what? In 6 months from now, I'm happy that I started today and not in 6 months from now. If there is anything that I want you to know, then it is that you have to find something that you enjoy doing, because that makes everything else a little less bad. The fourth thing that I learned that changed my perspective on life is that you have to set short-term and long-term goals. If we go back to us being kids, if you want to learn how to walk, that's great, but you gotta learn how to crawl first. Before you start your journey, you need to kind of know the destination. It's okay if you change your path down the road, but if you have absolutely no idea where you're going, then you might end up getting lost or just go in circles. I personally am all for aiming for the stars, and if you miss, you might end up on the moon. You want to think big and then think bigger. But after setting a long-term goal, it's essential to have many short-term goals to keep yourself on track. Okay, so the long-term goals are goals that you set for your future, and the short-term goals are how you plan to achieve your long-term goals. The short-term ones, they act as milestones. You'll have a sense of how far you've come, and you also have a sense of how long you still have to travel. In every journey, you'll face setbacks. You'll face discouragements, judgments, and rejection as you're working towards your goals. This is exactly where short-term goals come into play, because they'll keep reminding you the purpose of all the hard work that you put in, and it keeps you focused. Also, sometimes it just takes very long to successfully achieve your long-term goals, which can then take a toll on your confidence. And the short-term goals, again, help to keep you focused. Personally, when I set short-term goals, I try to stick to the SMART principle. Keep them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. But when I set long-term goals, I don't stick to any SMART principle. Because again, I think that you should aim big, then bigger, and if you end up halfway, you're already further than the moon. So the fourth thing that I learned that changed my perspective on life is that you have to set big long-term goals and then solid short-term goals to help you keep focused. And then the final thing that I learned that changed my perspective on life is that time passes anyways. And this is the one that kind of ties everything together. So the more that you prolong, the more that you are standing still, or that you're freezed by the thought of all the goals that you want to achieve, but they're so big and they're so far ahead, and does it even make sense to get started? It will take me so long and I need to go so far and I need to do so many things. Why would I even bother? I might not get there. Maybe I should just do nothing. that's exactly when you need to realize that time passes anyways. Yes, day 1 seems very far away from day 500. But if you would have started when that thought first popped into your head, then you would have been halfway already. If you would have gone to that PT class last week, then this week would already suck a little less. Time is one of the most valuable things. Let's say that you won a huge prize. You'll be getting $86,400 in your account every single day, and by the end of the day your balance will be emptied. What would you do? Would you spend it to the fullest? And I don't mean necessarily on yourself, but maybe to help better the world or someone else. Or would you just let it be wiped out every single day without doing something? Or what would happen if someone stole $10 from you? Would you be upset and throw the rest away in hopes of getting back at the person that took your $10? Or would you just move on and let it go? See, we have 86,400 seconds every single day. You cannot sweat the small stuff because life is so much bigger than that. If you don't do anything, nothing will happen and your future won't be different from your past. So if you're watching this feeling unmotivated, then go get up and do something about it. Yes, you might suck at it at first. Yes, you might fail, but just face your problems one step at a time, chip away from it, make it more manageable, because by the end of the day, time passes anyways. You might find something that you really enjoy, or you might find that you really enjoy the process. You either win or you learn. That's what it's all about.